All right, we're recording right now. All right, number 8, page 449. The average cost of teeth straightening with metal braces is approximately $5,400. Yikes. I never had braces. Maybe some of you had. I know it's not cheap. The National Franchise thinks that its cost is below that figure. So it was $5,400. They think it's less than that, below that. A random sample of 28. Here we go. Random sample of 28 across the country had an average cost. So X bar is $52.50 with a standard deviation. With a standard deviation, that means it's coming from that sample. You follow that subtle little piece of information there? It's not a population standard deviation because it's coming from, it said with. So it's all coming from the 28. Alpha is 0.025. Can it be concluded that the mean is less than? So you guys right now, I want you guys to write down what you think the alternative and all hypothesis is. So go ahead and take a minute and do that. So it says the mean, right? And that they're claiming it's less than 5,400. What do you think? There's also a reaction. Isn't there a reaction button to click somewhere on there? There we go. We got a thumbs up from Felipe, Alicia. Good, you guys found it. One thing, keep in mind, all your classes, I know none of us signed up for this for online. I get it. It sucks. Some of us like it. But you got to still put the time in. You still have to put the time in. I mean, this is still a college credit course. We're doing everyone's trying to do their best to give you an education here. So you got to put the time in though. Okay. You got to put a few hours into the homework every class, every week for sure. A couple hours, I would think. And I'm sure some of you are. But I just want to kind of want all you guys make sure you're doing that. All right. That everyone, I think we're got the idea. It's below the 5,400.
You're cutting out again.
I didn't hear you.
You're cutting out again, or at least you were.
Cutting out again?
Oh, now you're fine.
No, I'm fine?
Yeah.
All right. Yep, thanks for telling me. Okay, so let's read the directions above number 7. State hypothesis, find the critical values, find the test value, make a decision, summarize the results. Same directions. It says use traditional methods for hypothesis testing unless otherwise specified. Okay, here's the part where you can use the p-value every time. I'm changing the directions. I'm specifying you can use p-value. Assume that the population is normal. Okay. Does this scenario meet the conditions of a T? You can give me a thumbs up if you agree, or a thumbs down if you disagree.
You want to repeat that question?
Does this meet the conditions of a T distribution as opposed to a Z? See, it's easy to forget. This is a T. Okay. Let me tell you when to use a T. The population standard deviation is unknown. The population is normal. And N is less than 30. Those are the 3 conditions that involve a T. Any one of those three parts are disrupted, it will not be a T. It's going to be a Z. Well, not exactly the three different ones, but as far as we're concerned, it will be. The problems that we work are going to be Z's or T's. So right there, we've met all three of those. 28's less than 30. It says the population is normal. You see when they give us S? I'll square it out. See that S right there? That means the population standard deviation is unknown because they're giving us the sample standard deviation. Okay, we're going to skip step 2. We're going to go to step 3. And you're going to go to stat test number 2, I believe. It's to the T. Stat test. Yep. Okay, stats. Same thing. 5400. X bar is 5250. S is 629. Sample size 28. We have a less than, I believe this time, right? Highlight the less than, very important. Highlight the less than and calculate. So I've got a p-value of 0.10889. Anyone else getting that? Now there is a t-value on there. I'm going to write it down, but we're not going to use it. We're not going to compare it to another p-value besides the rejector. We're going to use the p-value this time. And I remember, Levi, you asked me a question earlier, right? Whether accept or reject based on how large it is. So let's look at alpha. So use your pristine math skills here. I want you to compare those two values, the 0.025 and the 0.10. Who's bigger? P is bigger than alpha, isn't it? So here's one little thing that I remember on this. Help me remember this. If P is small, tiny little, reject.
You're cutting out.
I'm cutting out again still.
Oh, now you're good. I think someone else just has to talk for a while.
Doggone it.
Yeah,
All right,
keep
I'll
going.
talk closer. Yeah, look at me. Look at close up on me. That ain't very good. I shaved yesterday. I've been lazy. All right. So p-value is bigger than alpha, except the null. And it's 0.10 is bigger than 0.025. If p-value is smaller, it's tiny, throw it away, reject the null. Okay? So now how does that affect the problem? Now you have to go back and look at your hypotheses. Am I breaking up?
Cutting it really bad. I didn't hear anything that you just said.
All right. Am I still breaking up? Sounds like it.
You sound better.
It seems like whenever somebody else talks, it helps clear it up.
Yeah. How about now?
You sound good. I can hear you echoing. I can hear you well.
Okay. I'll say it one more time. Our p-value. I need someone needs to go to mute. I know it's not doesn't sound right. How about now?
Yeah, I can hear you pretty well.
Okay. All right. So my p-value is 0.10. That's bigger than 0.025. Isn't it? That means you accept it. If it's big, you accept it. If the p-value is small, you reject it. Relative to the 0.025, that's the important part. So now we go over here. We're accepting H0, aren't we? I circled it. So we're going to say the true mean cost of braces to straighten teeth still is 5,400 because we're accepting H0. So the cost to use braces, where are we at here? Cost to use braces to straighten teeth still is 5,400. In other words, that's even though the sample mean was 5250, it was not enough to say that's changed. That's what this is all about. Is there significant enough difference from the data to show that it's changed? And the answer is no. It still is 5,400 national average. So I've reduced it by one step, kind of. So really, this is 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, 4 step, instead of 5 because we're using p-value.
Do you want us to label every step we take?
No, you don't have to. But I'm going to be looking around, you know. I'll be looking for all those little pieces of information in the problem when I grade it. So I just did it so people can see that I got all the steps, what they all meant.
Okay.
So apart from clicking on the T rather than the Z, I think you can see there's nothing different about this section. Very little difference. Let's do 12. Go ahead, try 12. We're going to do data this time. So can you guess where the data is going to go? L1, there you go. So everyone go ahead and do number 12.
Are you planning on doing a Zoom meeting every Thursday?
I think so. Why? What do you think?
I mean, I like it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do it.
I can plan on it.
Because I think some people need a little more structure and motivation to stay on top of it.
Yeah, it'd probably be one of those.
For the quiz, do you want 3 problems from 8.2 or 8.3, or does it not matter?
Any section from chapter 8. We're actually going to do another section here.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Try and make one photo if you can. Kind of compact a little bit on one paper.
You want to repeat that last part?
So on the quiz, if it's possible, write the 3 problems on one sheet of paper and take one photograph would be nice. Did you get that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm putting the data into L1. Oh, chocolate chip cookies. Oh, I would love one of them right now. Does anyone have a craving for something that they can't get now because of this quarantine thing?
Not really. Someone in the chat said Los Aztecas.
Ooh.
Sushi. I could go for some sushi.
Cedar Rapids has a pretty good sushi restaurant that we actually drive there for. I think it's called House of Sushi or something. I can't remember exactly.
I'm actually trying to learn how to make sushi at home right now.
Yeah. My wife knows how to do it.
How's that going for you, Levi?
You know, we're not gonna talk about it. So far, the rolls have just not come out to look good.
Yeah, it's not. The rice has to be perfect stickiness. All right.
And it's hard to find roasted seaweed anywhere.
There's a new Chinese. I bet you can buy it at that corner of JFK in Pennsylvania. There's a Chinese food market there. I bet you get it there. All right, here we go. Yeah, they're open. It's a grocery store. Here we go. The average 1 ounce chocolate chip cookie contains 110 calories. A random sample of 15, which our calculator is going to do that for us. Cookies results in the following amounts at alpha equals 0.01. Here we go. Is there sufficient evidence that the average calorie content is greater than 110? Is that pretty clear, do you think? The mean is greater than 110. So then this would be equals 110. Let me share some stuff that I've seen in the past. People won't even put the mu in there. So look over at my hypothesis. Look how funny that looks. Just greater than 110 without a mean sitting in it. That looks funny to me. You got to have mu in there. Okay? So make sure you write your hypotheses correctly the way I've got them written there. Okay, I think we're ready to go, aren't we? Stat, tests, t-test, data. So now make sure you highlight data. Starting with 110, L1. Frequency is going to be 1. And make sure you highlight greater than. So my calculator looks like this. Everybody see that? Data, 110, L1, frequency 1. The older calculator might be a little different, but it should be a whole lot different. Everyone see that in the little screen there? My little look. Make sure you look at my little screen. Scroll up if you have to. And enter and calculate. Okay, now there's a little subtle problem here. All I want is the p-value. Look very carefully at the p-value. It looks like it's 3. But there's a little e minus 4. That's very, very important. What does that mean? It means there's, yes, that means we got to move the decimal 4 places to the left, which means we got to throw in 3 zeros. Please do not miss that. First of all, a p-value can never be bigger than 1. It's area under the curve. So the 3 should be your eyebrow should go up when you see the 3 anyway. That's not possible. Anyone have a question on how we got that? Raise your hand or something. It's still okay. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, you're still cutting out.
I'm still cutting out.
Slightly.
Okay, is this p-value, is it less than alpha? It's tiny, right?
Yeah.
Less than alpha. Tiny, we don't like it. That means we reject. Reject H0. We're talking about mean calorie content, right? 1 ounce chocolate chip cookies. So rejecting H0 means we're going to accept H1, doesn't it? So the mean calorie content is greater than 110 calories. Still cutting out?
No, I can hear you well.
Okay, so notice we skipped 8.1. It's talking about different types of errors that can be involved in all this. I just skipped that. It's just not, it's too much more work in this environment. So just make sure you can do these problems good. Okay, I want to do 8.3. This is not going to take very long. 1 or 2 problems here and we'll have this section down. This is all we're going to do in chapter 8. We're going to skip 8.5. Okay, so now I'm going to go to 8.4. I'm going to go right to a homework problem. You will not have a trouble with this, I don't believe. So I'm on page 457, number 6. Let's read it. It has been found that 50.3% of U.S. households own stocks and mutual funds. A random sample of 300, here we go, a random sample of 300 heads of household indicated that 171 own some sort of stock. So out of the 300, not a mean, 171 out of 300 own a stock. Now, if you remember, this is a very similar parallel to chapter 7 when we did the proportion confidence intervals. We're going to do proportion hypothesis testing. So it parallels it exactly the same. At what level of significance would you conclude that this was a significant difference? Oh, I really didn't want to do 6 yet. Let's do 5. Change my mind. Let me erase that. 46% of people believe that there is life on other planets in the universe. Scientists does not agree with this finding. He surveyed 120 select individuals and found that 48 believe that there is life on other planets. So that's your X. So 48 out of 120. At alpha equals 0.10, is there significant evidence that to conclude that the percentage differs from 46? Is there significant evidence to conclude that the percentage, and here's the difference on this section, we're going to use P, or proportion, or percent, really. You can use interchangeable words, really. Differs from 46. You think that's a greater than, less than, or not equal to?
You want to repeat that? You're cutting out.
So differs from 46.
Not equal to.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
equal to.
That's not equal to 46. 0.46. So then this equals 0.46. Okay? So again, if you had no problem with the proportion problem for confidence intervals, you won't have any problem here either. So remember I said 3 places that we're going to go today? There we go. Stat, test, number. Which one did I say?
5.
5. So the very first one, you're going to type in 0.46. There's your X. 48 out of 120. Not equal to. So it should look like this. There you go. You want to see that on the little screen there? Hit calculate. Write down the p-value. That's a pretty big p-value, wouldn't you say? It's bigger than alpha, isn't it? It's greater than alpha. What do we say we do if it's big? We accept H0. We accept H0, which is the top one. So whatever the top one says, we want to make a sentence about it, that the true percent still is 46% of whatever we're talking about here, which was those who believe there's life on other planets. So we still believe there is 46% of life on other planets. What do you say about that? Didn't take long at all, did it? How about number 8? Why don't you guys see if you can set it up? Read it through number 8 and set it up. It's on page 458. I'm going to post this video too, so. Please post your questions and send me an email, whatever. Always feel free to send me an email, okay? I'm sitting around here doing nothing in this house all by myself, unless my wife's working. My wife works. She's a healthcare provider, so. Some of you guys are going to be healthcare providers, right? I'm getting you guys ready for the next pandemic. I sure hope not.
I'm ready for this one to be over.
Yeah. It's going to be a ways yet, too, sounds like. Yeah, I miss going to the gym, all those fun things that we do.
I agree.
Racquetball, oh, man. All right, what do we got here? Is there sufficient evidence that 0.05 levels given to conclude that the proportion of women physicians at the University Health System exceeds, and I know some of you are going to be bothered by these words, we have to think it through, exceeds. Is that bigger or less if it exceeds something? Should be bigger, right? It exceeds, so P is going to be bigger than 27.9, so 0.279. Make sure you convert it to a decimal, right? And that says 45 of the 120. 45 out of the 120, I believe. How does that look? Good. Alpha's 0.05. That's all you need. Stat tests. Remember, I'll send you this video so you can look at it again. You can pause, rewind, right? It'll be a YouTube, so just gonna have to give me a little bit of time. It takes a while to upload a long video like this. Okay, we got 45 out of 120. We have a greater than, don't forget to highlight greater than. So I got a p-value here, a small one looks like 0.0095. Do you guys all agreement with that?
Yep.
That's a small one, which is less than alpha. If it's tiny, if it's small, what do you do with it? We don't like it, right? Reject H0. So you notice on every one of my problems, I wrote down one of two things. Accept H0 or reject H0. That's what I want to see on your problems. In fact, that's probably the first thing I'm going to look for when I grade it. So rejecting H0 means we're accepting the second one, doesn't it? So the true proportion, or percent, I don't care what you want to say, of women physicians is greater than 27.9%. How'd that look? Not a whole lot more to tell you. So far as homework goes, let's get this written down. So 8.3, it's kind of up to you, really. 7 through 21, 8.4, just so you know how to do it, right? 5 through, I don't know, 19. Do what you need to do. Do what you need to do to get it down, right? Okay, so now let's open up questions about anything here. There's no minimum sample size, none of that. It's all hypothesis testing. Okay? You got your Z, you got your T, and you got a P. So if it says anything about percentages, it's automatically number 5 on the calculator. You don't have to worry about Z or T or none of that. It's just number 5. Okay, I got some chat questions here. Can we do number 6 on page 8.4? Okay, so you can skip 6. 6 just says, what would you pick for an alpha? Just get one. Let's just make sure we get these tests down correctly. Don't worry about number 6 on page 457.
You want to repeat? We're cutting out.
So skip 6.
Well, didn't we just do 5? So wouldn't it be 7 and 19?
Whatever, yeah. Well, you're still responsible for it. So another question here for the quiz. Are we submitting 8.3 or 8.4? Whatever, you can pick. One or both. Doesn't have, it can be whatever you want. Any 3 problems. I'll pick them all from one section. I don't care. But I'm going to look at how you're doing it. Okay, I'm going to grade it. So it's not just a freebie quiz. You have to do 3 problems, and they got it. You know. And only the correct work. It can be all from 8.3. It can be all from 8.4. It can be some of both. Any other questions? Okay, back in 8.2, number 18, I'm looking at the chat. You guys can look at the chat, but I'm pretty sure. Back in 8.2, okay, I'm with you here. Number 18, a bit confused on H0, H1 statement. Okay, another question. Our quiz is only going to be on Thursdays again. I haven't decided yet. I kind of forgot about the quiz this week. I'm just going back to take a photograph of homework. I'll probably do that every week. Yeah, you can count on it. Every week that we don't have a quiz, every week that we don't have a test, there'll be a quiz. Probably 2 or 3 homework problems from that week. Send me an email. That'll be clear. I'll try to put an announcement out on that. Okay, I'll be more clear on that. I'll put an announcements page in Brightspace, and I'll send an email out. So again, I really want to encourage everyone, always look at your email. That's the motive. We just have to use that. That's we really get a hold of it once. You have to look at your emails. You don't even not have it. You guys hear about that?
You're cutting it out.
So cutting out.
Well, now I can hear you.
Always you check your email and the announcements page. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
And yep, we're gonna have class Thursday. Every Thursday we're gonna have class like this, just to kind of touch base, go over questions. Okay, I'm still looking for number 18. Well, 18 is gonna take a lot of time. Let's see. Back in number 8, that part. So section 8.2, page 436. I won't do the whole thing. That's gonna take a while to get that data in here. But let's be number 18. Manager hypothesized the average number of pages a person copies in the store's copy machine is less than 40.
You're cutting out.
Okay, the store, I'm reading the first sentence on that problem. A random sample of 50, is there enough evidence to support the claim? So what does the first sentence say? A store manager hypothesized. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
He hypothesizes that the number of pages a person copies on the machine is less than 40. Less than 40, so I'm pretty sure that's what it's going to be. All right, so if someone still wants to see more of that one,
She
okay.
said, okay.
Yep, we said you're good on that one. Okay. I'd say that's what it's going to be on that one. More chats. Okay, another chat. When the question gives you sample standard deviation, does that mean you need to use the t? Well, you still got to look at the three conditions. Is the population normal, and is the sample size less than 30? You got to have all three. So it's not just sample standard deviation, but that's usually but that's a good question, Lily. Lily, if they do give you a sample standard deviation, likely the other two will also follow, because that's the nature of the problem. If they don't give you population standard deviation, likely we're shooting towards a T, so I'd be looking for it. Other questions, comments, anything? So otherwise, I think we're going to call her a day. So we'll see you back here in a week. I'll post more notes. So let me say this. So I'm going to do another video introducing the next chapter. It's going to be hypothesis testing, except it's going to be hypothesis testing comparing two populations. All right. So you're going to have two sets of data. So you might have the mean grade, the mean GPA from Kirkwood Community College and the mean GPA from NICC. And we're going to comparing them. So just a little introduction to it. The calculator, let me show you where that's going to be. Sometimes the video is hard to do, but okay, someone had a question. So no homework from section 8.2, 8.3, and 8.4. Well, it's right there. It's right on the screen. Can you see the screen?
I think the question was if we have any homework from 8.2.
I gave 8.2, the 8.2 homework was in the video. So 8.2 would have been 1 through, oh, how about 22? So let me say this. Again, there's all this goofiness going on here. If I ever forget to do homework, if I cover a section, it's always homework. Do as many problems out of that section as you can if I forget to mark it down. There's always homework. If I cover a section, there's always homework on it. Okay, and the other thing, let me say this, or I forget what I already told you this, but we're going to skip 8.5. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Doffing. Okay, that felt good. I got to have something to feel good about here. My garden's growing. So over a week and a half ago, way back in March, end of March, I planted snow peas, kale, lettuce, spinach. It's all popping up right now. I am so excited. I got something to be really excited about. Any other questions? Oh, another chat. Okay, nothing there. So is that clear about the homework, everyone? It's all on the screen. All right, I appreciate everyone. Keep doing well. Stay well. Looks like we're going to be this way to the end of the term. I'll do whatever I can for you, okay? I'm fighting for you. I'm sitting around here not doing a lot of nothing, so send me an email. Got questions, I'll make a video for you. Whatever, make a little screenshot or something. Whatever I can to help you out, I'll do it. All right? So. Signing out, Mr. Doffing.
See you, Tim.
All right, bye-bye, buddy.